Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, however you all doing. It's Kaiser. It is time to check in with the movies over the weekend, see how things went, and well, it did not go well for Blue Beetle, I can tell you that much. So, Blue Beetle from the get-go had a really bit of a rocky start going on to this movie. Say a lot of folks projected it was not going to do well in its first weekend. Well, now that first weekend ended up definitely getting off a little bit rough with, well, a very measly box office performance, which the wonderful people over at Warner Brothers decided they were going to go ahead and blame their poor box office performance of only taking in about $25 million domestically over that weekend on Hurricane Hillary. Yeah, they literally tried to blame the weather for, well, one of the biggest box office failings of the DCEU, like, ever. So, yeah, Blue Beetle's 61% second weekend drop is better than Shazam 2, where the Flash box office is still not great. So, they were saying that the drop-off for this movie between its first and second weekend was about 61%, which in the grand scheme of things is not as bad as it probably has been for other movies in the past, but you're already talking about a significant number of people that did not show up for this movie during its first weekend, 61% drop off from week 1 to week 2, and yeah, it's kind of a recipe for some serious disaster. That's gonna hurt this movie going forward. So, with Blue Beetle also struggling to make its production budget, the DC universe, excuse me, is finding itself on shaky footing as it heads into a new era. The franchise is currently being refreshed under the auspices of DC Studios' new CEOs and co-chairman James Gunn and Peter Safran. In order to properly launch this new phase of the DC franchise, DC will likely need another huge hit to kickstart things. Yes, DC needs a major win right now, and unfortunately this year, they have not been able to get one. They've really struck out, and I mean, between Shazam 2, Flash, none of them really struck with audiences, and it's just been kind of sad to watch. So, the next movie, Aquaman Lost Kingdom, has the advantage of being a sequel to the highest grossing outing of the franchise so far, though it could suffer from fan confusion over the future of the characters. While this movie's hit status is up in the air, the franchise also has Joker, Boy Ledoux, and James Gunn's Superman Legacy coming. Both movies boast unique stars and buzzy productions that could pull the brand out of the slump that Blue Beetle is continuing. Not gonna lie, I doubt it. I don't think that. Look, I mean, Joker was a phenomenal movie. I don't think a sequel is going to quite have the same impact, although I could be surprised. James Gunn's Superman Legacy, that actually could be interesting if he plays his cards right and he does it the right way. That movie could be good. I think superhero fatigue is definitely a real thing. I know a lot of people love to argue with me on that one, but I mean, I'm sticking by the data here. And the data shows that superhero movies by and large are in a slump. Kind of going over here to the weekend numbers. So Gran Turismo actually brought in the most money over the weekend, $17.3 million over the entire weekend. Obviously, we're seeing a bit of a drop-off from the kind of the initial buzz of the summer to now, kind of getting those lower numbers in there. Barbie still surprisingly taking in a $17.1 million take. So Gran Turismo beat out Barbie, although that movie's been in the theaters for quite a while now. Blue Beetle taking in third, 12.7 million overall. That puts its domestic take at 46.3 million. Oppenheimer still down there, fourth place and hanging on, actually doing remarkably well given the circumstances. And well, yeah, that's kind of where we're sitting right now. Yeah, there's really not much else to say in that regard on that end. as far as the weekend numbers are concerned. Let's go to the overall numbers. So Blue Beetle 2023 domestic box office total right now 46.3 million. International box office is 35.5 million for a worldwide box office total of 81.8 million so far, against a production budget that's allegedly 120 million. There's of course some possibility that some of those numbers might be just a little bit on the fudgy side, because as we've seen from Hollywood in general this year, a lot of fudging the numbers, especially with like The Flash. The Flash had a reported budget of about 200 million. We're actually hearing now that that movie not only is over 300 million, but probably far over 300 million, making it, according to some folks on the inside, saying it could be, if not is, the most expensive movie ever produced, which, if true, that just means that this is that much more of a slap in the face for DC and Warner Brothers at this point. This is a bad year for them. I mean, trust me, it's not a good year for Marvel too, but even DC, like right now, I mean, even Marvel had at least one mild hit, even if it was only Guardians 3, and Guardians 3, it broke even. There's some sketchy numbers that are kind of coming out about that one, that it may not have even broken even. Actually, now that we're kind of hearing about it, I'll keep you posted on that, but I don't have anything definitive. From what we understand right now, that movie did make a profit, but I mean, you're talking about a profit of maybe only 100 million over its full production budget, and everything else that was put into that movie could be pretty bad on that end for Disney if it only rakes in 100 million profit. But yeah, currently this movie's sitting at 81.8 million against that 120 million production budget. Now, if that number does hold true, if you add on to this movie the kind of just the, let's just for ballpark shits and giggles just say that you add $80 million of marketing and advertising onto the back of the production of this movie, that still puts the total money spent on the production of this at about, well, let's say, let's half that. Let's make it 60 million. Say that's 180 million. And if at 180 million grand total, marketing, advertising, everything put into this movie, if this movie is in its second weekend has only pulled in $81 million, that is abysmally bad, because that still means that this movie is going to come up $100 million short right now. And honestly, I don't think however many more weekends it's got left in it is going to really close up that deficit at all. I think this movie's probably going to end up losing anywhere between 75 to $100 million for Warner Brothers in a year where they are already still losing a lot of money. Yeah, so we're getting some other information over here from from Cosmic Book News, saying Blue Beetle massive second weekend drop, still worse than Shazam 2. So film was bombing similar to Fury of the Gods. So there's kind of some back and forth on this one, but I'm just reporting it as I see it and as it's kind of being reported there. So Blue Beetle is predicted to have a massive second weekend drop, with the flick still performing worse than Shazam Fury of the Gods, which only finished with $133.8 million box office. That was total. Following the opening weekend disappointment of $25 million, Blue Beetle is estimated to massively drop $10.5 million the weekend in weekend 2, which will at least be a 58% drop, while the percentage drop actually isn't too bad. The major problem is that no one is going to see the movie. It took Marvel's Ant-Man 4 weeks to drop under 10 million. Yep. So they're saying there, yeah, worth mention that while the estimation is better than Shazam Fury of the Gods' second weekend box office of 9.3 million, Blue Beetle's box office is estimated to be still trailing Shazam 2 following its second weekend, which is true based on everything we're seeing right now. So yeah, this was the updated information saying that National Cinema Day and Sunday, now estimated Blue Beetle will bring in 12.7 million for a 2-week domestic total of 46.3 million, which is what we got. Worldwide gross is now at 81.8 million. That's what we saw there. But yeah, so This movie is really not doing well, and it's at this point, it's not going to recover. I hate to say it, folks, but this movie's a flop. It's not going to recover, and no amount of wishful thinking is going to change that fact. And I mean, blame it on the weather all you want, but it is not going to help this movie at all. So anyway, folks, thank you all so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. I will have more videos coming out over the course of this week. Please definitely go ahead and check me out on Wednesday. I'm going to be doing a live stream Wednesday and going to be covering Ahsoka. The new episode's coming out this week on Thursday. And until then, I will see you all on the next video. Like, share, subscribe. Love y'all. Peace.